My name is Allison McPhee, and this is the sixth step of the Biology Honors Project. I decided to do my experiment on the question, how do different types of fertilizers affect plant growth? I learned that plants get many of the nutrients they need from water, which seeps through the soil and gathers important minerals. Plants need nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, sulfur, and magnesium, called macronutrients, in large quantities in order to grow. Plants also need boron, calcium, chlorine, manganese, iron, zinc, copper, molybdenum, and nickel, called micronutrients, in small quantities in order to grow. Most soil worldwide provides sufficient nutrition to plants that are adapted to that type of climate and soil. Nutrients get into the soil in many ways, including through decomposed animal waste and dead plants, the atmosphere, bacteria conversions, and the weathering of rocks. Nutrients that have been drained from the soil can be added back to the soil in a variety of ways, including the ways that they were originally introduced to the soil. Fertilizers are any materials that are applied to soil or plant tissues to supply plants nutrients. Most fertilizers provide nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen is the most important fertilizer because nitrogen is present in DNA and proteins, and because nitrogen in the atmosphere is not usable to plants. Fertilizers can be classified as single nutrient, where they only provide a single nutrient to plants, multi-nutrient, where they provide more than one nutrient to plants, organic, where they are made of recycled plant or animal matter, inorganic, where they exclude all carbon-containing materials except for ureas. My hypothesis was, if I give these plants 3 different types of fertilizer, then the 20-20-20 fertilizer will cause the plants to grow the tallest because it supplies the most of each type of nutrients to the plants. My materials were 12 of the same types of pots, potting soil, a 10-15-10 fertilizer type, a 20-20-20 fertilizer, an organic fertilizer containing 0, 0.5, 0.7, an ounce measuring cup, a ruler, and bean sprout seeds. For my experiment, first I placed the same amount of potting soil in each pot, then I placed 3 bean sprout seeds in each pot 1 inch below the top of the soil. Next, I placed all of the pots by the same window. Then I watered each plant daily with 2 ounces of water and used the fertilizer as instructed on the package. After 10 days, I measured the growth of all the plants and recorded the heights of the plants in the table. Here are pictures from before the experiment started. Here are the pictures of the fertilizers and seeds that I used. And here are pictures from after the experiment was complete. From this data table, you can see the heights of the plants. The control group in pot 1 grew 90 millimeters tall. Pot 2 grew to be 90 millimeters, pot 3 to 60 millimeters, to have an average height of 80 millimeters. The 10-15-10 fertilizer grew 120 millimeters in pot 1, 115 millimeters in pot 2, and 85 millimeters in pot 3, for an average height of 106.67 millimeters. In the 20-20-20 fertilizer, pot 1 grew to be 125 millimeters, 95 millimeters in pot 2, and 105 millimeters in pot 3, for an average height of 108.33 millimeters. The organic fertilizer, pot 1 grew to be 80 millimeters tall, pot 2 to 70 millimeters, and pot 3 to 85 millimeters, for an average height of 78.33 millimeters. Here is a visual representation of the plant heights. From the data that I collected at the end of my experiment, I can see that the 20-20-20 fertilizer did the best to help the bean sprouts grow because it had both the tallest average plant height and had the tallest plant. This seems to be because it provided the most nutrients to the plants as compared to the other fertilizers. One thing that is not supported by this reasoning is the growth of the plants with the organic fertilizer. The organic fertilizer provided nutrients, but the plants did not grow as tall as the control group plants. I think this was because of some bad seeds, or the fact that I only grew the plants for 10 days. If I did this experiment again, I would get a bigger sample size so I could have more accurate results. Some other experiments that could result from this one is saying how the frequency of giving plants fertilizer impacts their growth, an experiment about how different types of soil affect plant growth, and an experiment about how the strength of fertilizer affects plant growth. This is my works cited page from the information section. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.